Anyway, there's some music that is slightly less awful than the thing I've just demonstrated in a different video. Just a couple of things I wanted to go over that I hadn't really touched on in the last video and is useful is this whole area here. I didn't even touch on this. There are 3 lanes of effects which are really useful for doing all sorts of interesting stuff with your music. I should also point out that if you press the A and B button on an empty space, it will put an off command in, and that will stop a note from playing if there is one that would otherwise run for a while. So if let's just create an empty thing here, empty thing here, and let's put in a longish instrument sound. Let's have the lead one thing. There we go. There we go. So that runs basically up until it's next instructed to start. But if I put the off command here, off. So it gives you a bit more control. You can also, inside the instrument, muck about with attack, decay, sustain and release instructions, which would mean that when the off command hits, rather than just going off immediately, as it did in this case, it might well have a bit more of a tail to it. Something else of note is if you hold shift and right again, there's a T space in the little mini map. This is a table, and each time, these are really cool. I still haven't got my head around how to use them effectively, but basically this is running at a resolution of, I think, 5 times this speed, and is a way of modifying the instrument sound. So for example, if there we go, let's muck about with these. There we go. This is going to give you an idea. You can create sort of arpy sounds because we're offsetting the pitch in little ways as it's being played. There we go. And there are 4 lanes of special effects in here as well, which there's a whole bunch. All sorts of really cool stuff. Pitch bend. Yeah. Too much, but it gives you an idea what you can do there. Let's pitch bend down. There we go. So you can really muck about with sounds quite a bit with these effects commands. So that was in the table, but there are also effects in here, which you can change the value of. That's an arpeggio command. There, if you press up, you can see there's a whole host of stuff you can do. I'm not going to explain any of these things, but it's really quite fun. So you can do stutter commands and things with the retrigger. So if we say, for example, rather than have that instrument, add a bass. So there we go. So let's get rid of that retrigger. Let's stick it over here, and let's have a couple more. There we go. Let's get rid of the off. There we go. So you can see what I mean. There's quite a lot of fun stuff you can do. Oh god, it's really blurry. I'm very sorry. I do not know quite how to get the focus bang on this screen. But anyway, that's a fun little extra bit of stuff you can muck about with. With certainly the M8, you can mess about with filters as well. Oh, groove. Oh, crikey. Right, let's talk about groove. At the moment, we're on 6 and 6. We can adjust that, and that will basically add swing. You want to adjust to make sure everything still adds up to 12. This is how many ticks it will take to move on to the next step. So now, if we leave the groove on that, we should have, maybe not as obvious as it could be, but the groove has now added quite a bit of swing. If I let's make it really, really swingy. Oh no! Oh, okay, that's quite useful. It just automatically adjusts So now we should have a really uneven groove. Yeah, you can tell it's a bit stop-start because of this this swing that's applied. So yeah, so much depth to these things, and you can really come up with some pretty impressive stuff. I've seen some amazing chiptune artists using the M8, just using a single channel and creating whole songs just with one channel, having all sorts of clever tricks with interrupts and so on. I definitely don't have that skill, but you know, it's there. There's a skill ceiling to be found, but it's a long way off, and you can have a lot of fun and create quite a lot of music just following your nose and learning from others. So yeah, there you go. There's a bit of extra fun for you. Bye.